Today we're going to go over how to build a budget office build. It's based on the AMD AM4 platform. We're going to be using this LIANLI 205M mesh Snow. Got this at Micro Center. We're going to use the ASUS Prime B450M-A2. It's a good budget board for the AM4 platform. You want to make sure you line up your motherboard supports on this micro ATX board. Make sure your supports are in there well in case you take it off so the screw doesn't unscrew the anchor. You do not want your anchors touching the bottom of the motherboard to short it out. You'll want to refer to your case manual so you can pick the right screws for your motherboard installation. So we're going to take out this AM4 pre-installed thing, so you can see I did on the right. We're going to use this aftermarket cooler, ID Cooling SE224 XTS White, to go with our white build. You're going to want to use these brackets as shown in the instructions. They're pretty good, pretty nice detailed instructions. And then it has the part list over here, obviously. So we're going to go with the red. Got to use these screws. We're going to put these brackets, one like that and one like that. And we're going to screw this bad boy on. A lot of times your motherboard wants you to put it in A2 and B2 first. You want to run Ryzen and dual channel memory all the time. As you get this on, you want to do a little bit of each side when you're screwing it on, just to make sure you're getting it uneven. Here we have the PCIe NVMe M.2 SSD. This is the 500 gig model. You want to measure where it goes. And you also want to put this as support in before you screw it in. Otherwise you'll have a funny looking hard drive that's at an angle. So you definitely want to put this support in, and that screw that comes with the hard drive goes into that support. Next, you want to put in your backplate correctly with the funny looking parts inside. It's going to give a little resistance to your motherboard when you slide it in. Then you want to make sure you use the motherboard screws as we talked about earlier, and secure your motherboard in there. One thing you want to make sure is when you put the HDMI, when you're lining up your motherboard, make sure those tabs are sitting on top of the port. I went with this power spec 650 watt power supply. That's pretty much modular from Micro Center. Went with the white collar, of course, to match. And this is more than enough for a little office build like this. And refer to your manual to how to put the power supply in. And there are certain screws there, and that's how you put that in. Next, we're going to talk about the I/O connections. You want to refer to your motherboard for specific details. You want to connect the front panel header. That gives you your hard drive lights and your power button, reset button, and if your hard drive is loading, and your power button, your power LED, excuse me. 3.2 generation 1 header. It only goes in one way. Then we want to do our front panel audio header, so you can have your headphone and your mic that's on top of your case. So make sure your power's in, your 8-pin, your 24-pin, and your chassis fans are all plugged in. When you first boot up your computer, it may be a little slower than normal. It's doing some first-time boot checks, and you want to verify that your processor is coming up correctly and the total amount of memory is coming up. It'll load the safest settings. So in this example, if you bought 32 or 3600 DDR4 memory, it's going to run at a slower one until you go into the BIOS later, and you can load your XMP settings or manually set your speed that's safe for your RAM and motherboard. But there's plenty of other videos on that online on what to do after building your PC.